Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Serina binti Arifin, 1192952. We are going to present about one of our Muslim scholar, Muhammad Al-Idrisi. For your information, in history, Islamic geography began in the 7th century. Other than Muhammad Al-Idrisi, Al-Masudi and Abu Rayhan Biruni, who were some of Islamic scholars who contribute to the development of geography and cartography in that century. In this presentation video address Muhammad Al-Idrisi biography followed by his contribution and his work.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shafiqah binti Azhar. My metric number is 1192951. Now let's move on to the next point, which is the background or biography of Al-Idrisi.
As-Sharif Al-Idrisi, whose full name was Abu Abdullah Muhammad Al-Idrisi Al-Qurtubi Al-Hassani As-Sabti, was known by his short name Drises by the West. He was an Arab Muslim cartographer, geographer, traveller and Egyptologist famous for his travels all over Europe, Africa and Asia. Muhammad Al-Idrisi was born in the year of 1100 AD in the Andalusian city of Ceuta in Al-Moravid dynasty, which is now known as Spain.
As-Sharif Al-Idrisi lived in Palermo, Sicily at the court of King Roger II. He grew up in a family of prince, Sufi leaders and caliphs down to the Prophet Muhammad. He was a direct descendant of Hazrat Hafsa, Prophet Muhammad's grandson, who governed Andalusia from 1016 to 1058 AD. He belonged to an era when great Muslim empire had suffered from decline and had shown some cracks due to their drifting away from Quran. He spent most of his childhood traveling through Spain and North Africa to learn about the region's geography. Throughout his travels, he visited Muslim regions in many parts of Europe, including the Pyrenees, the Atlantic coast of France, Portugal, Hungary, and York, England. He was able to make the most precise maps before the modern era using information gathered from explorers and Islamic merchants and his own experience while journeying in Africa, the Far East, and the Indian Ocean regions. In the year of 1166 AD, Muhammad Al-Idrisi died in Ceuta, Morocco.
Next, we go to Muhammad Al-Idrisi education life. Muhammad Al-Idrisi has a reputation for being a clever person. He is believed to have studied at the University of Cordoba, popularly known as Al-Andalus in Cordoba, Spain. At that time, Cordoba was one of the major cultural centers of Western Islam. He gained access to many documents on faraway places while studying at the University of Cordoba. Besides, Muhammad Al-Idrisi is also said to have attended the University of Al-Qarawiyyin. University of Al-Qarawiyyin, located in Fez, Morocco. It was recognized as a mosque at that time, and it went to become an educational institution. Ibn Arabi, Sufi philosopher, Ibn Khaldun, historian and philosopher, and other scholars who studied at the same spot as Al-Idrisi. He also began his travel after finishing his official schooling by visiting various regions.
My name is Fatihah binti Amza, and today I would like to share with all of you about the contribution Muhammad Al-Idrisi on geography. According to the 14th century Arab scholar Al-Safadi, king of Roger called Muhammad Al-Idrisi to Sicily after hearing his greatness, and he wanted to ask Al-Idrisi to make a map of the world that known as Tabula Rogeriana for him, and promising to him to provide everything that he needs for this biggest project. Muhammad Al-Idrisi agreed with this project, but he laid down some conditions which were later agreed by King Roger. Muhammad Al-Idrisi began making a globe at that time was not an easy thing. This mega project involves 12 scholars, 10 of whom are Muslim scholars. It took 15 years of data collection to make a complete globe map, and it's finished on 1154. Muhammad Al-Idrisi recorded the 7 continents with their main cities rivers, and lakes, and alternate routes in this worldwide map, which changed into possibly the maximum correct map created within inside the Middle Age. After that, Muhammad Al-Idrisi made a global map on a sphere weighing, and the weight of the sphere is about 400 kilos. Islamic geographers inclusive of Ibn Khaldun, Piri Reis, and Ibn Battuta had been all stimulated by the maps drawn through Muhammad al-Idrisi, and explorers like Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus consulted maps drawn through Muhammad before starting on their voyages.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khairul Amar Idham bin Khairul Anwar, matric number 1192671. I would like to explain about one of the contribution of Imam Al-Idrisi, which is Nuzhat al-Mushtaq. Nuzhat al-Mushtaq. The Nuzhat al-Mushtaq fi Iqtiraq al-Afaq, also known as the Tabula Rogeriana, is a description of the world and the world map published by the Arab geographer Muhammad al-Idrisi in 1154. The book includes detailed explanations of each region's geographical, cultural, political, and social situations, as well as maps for each of the 70 parts. Regrettably, both the book and the silver map appear to have been destroyed shortly afterward in 1160 during civil unrest. As a result, our current knowledge of Al-Idrisi's conclusions is based on a condensed version of a second book he authored for Roger's son, William II. Manuscript of this little Idrisi may now be found in just a few European libraries. There are now 10 manuscript copies of the Book of Roger, 5 of which contain entire text and 8 of which have maps. Another book that authored by Muhammad al-Idrisi is Al-Jami' li Sifat Ashtad al-Nabatat, Kharidatul Alamil Ma'mur min al-Ard, Al-Adawiyah al-Mufrijah, and Shifatul Arab.
With that, we can conclude that knowledge is very important in the life of a Muslim. Al-Idrisi prowess in his field caused his life, his name, to be often mentioned as one of the greatest Islamic figures, and even admired by various parties, not only Muslim but also people of different religions. Based on his work, many reference books written by Western scholars mention that Al-Idrisi work has a major contribution to the technology of world mapping after that. It is not surprising that the name of Al-Idrisi is mentioned in many books related to the history of world map making. For example, one of the processing software that is Geographical Information System known as Idris. Al-Idris is one of the figures who proves the ability of a Muslim scholar who give contribution to all levels of society. So that was the conclusion from our assignment, and that's all from us. Thank you for lending your ears. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.